Today we've got the flight review on the FMS Futura V3. We'll take a look at some of the upgrades that they've done, and we'll look at the equipment for today, and we'll go ahead and get it in the air. First thing you'll notice is that they've changed the paint scheme and also added the lights on the wingtips. You've got the red and green navigation lights that are flashing, and then you've got a solid light on the bottom. This has also got a new power system. They actually went lower in kV, but they went up in diameter and size on the motor. So it gives this plane an added increase of thrust and speed. And also, it's got a little bit different sound in the air. Let's take a look at the equipment we're using today. We've got a SMC 4400 LHV. We'll get up here towards the front. And one thing you'll notice on the canopy, it's actually been carved out. The clearance is not the best when it comes to having batteries up towards the front. If you run a heavier battery, you can move it back. However, you are increasing the wing loading on this plane. We've got the AR620, which doesn't have a gyro, but we do have the FMS Reflex V2 in there, and that doesn't use a port if you want to run it all the time. So we just ran the signal wire into the bind port on the AR620. So now that we've looked over the Futura V3, let's go ahead and take it up in the air and put it through some paces. Got it set up on the center line. We're going to go straight out, go into a short crosswind, keep it tight. One thing about keeping this plane lightweight is you can fly it in tighter, and it can definitely handle slow speeds. So about 60% throttle. Take off right there. And we'll go ahead and put the flaps down.
Landing flaps.
Bring it in right here. Go ahead and put the gear up.
Flaps up.
Flaps away. You see this little plane, you can keep it tight. You can fly figure eight. See that gyro is really combating again.
Time remaining 2 minutes.
It holds the altitude really easy. And something I want to mention, since I've got some time flying this plane now, especially doing like pattern maneuvers and stuff, is that this plane is literally the closest thing I've ever flown to a pattern plane in a jet. And what I mean by that is, it doesn't have a super aggressive roll rate, and it's got plenty of elevator authority to do stuff like this and really have control at low speeds. But how precise it flies. You seen earlier I was faster on the throttle, and I did a slow go around like that. And it just holds the attitude at no matter what speed you got. Now something else, the reason why I say it feels like flying a pattern plane, watch when I come out of this half Cuban, I'm going to pull the power back just a little bit, and when it goes into the loop and out of it, it literally flies the same speed on the up line and the down line. I mean, it feels almost the same. So I'm going to bring it around, do one more slow pass. Go ahead and go into it, touch and go. Put the gear down.
Landing flaps.
Bring the landing flaps in. Keep her power up because we're going through the turn, putting the flaps in. That wind's a crosswind, so it's pushing us a little sideways today. But we want to try to finesse it anyways. The wind actually dropped down right as we were going to set it down, so I'd add power. Didn't really add enough, so we're going to try to bring that in again. And also, we didn't set up really right on final, going crosswind to final approach, because you can see I put the gear down. I don't typically like to do that, however, for time and everything, I want to kind of go ahead and show you a landing on it. Crosswind to a downwind. However, this time we're going to put it down and see if we can't get a good landing for today. start getting that landing in here is when you're going base leg from the downwind. Get it lined up. You can see right now we're coming in much better. Coming in. This plane land a little bit faster. We're going to add the power. Let it roll down. Turn it around. Go ahead and pull the flaps up. Clean it up. And we'll take it over to the bench and see what we got on the battery report and do a post-flight review on the FMS Futura V3. Now we've got the FMS Futura V3 back on the ground. Let's take a look at some of the parameters. We were on a 3.5 minute timer. We came down with 30 seconds left. So let's see what we got on 3 minutes of throttle usage. As I mentioned, I run a 4400 in here because it keeps it light. We're at 71%, 397. So if you're just cruising around, and that's top flying I like to do on days like this, you know, shooting touch and goes and just kind of flying into the wind and relax a little bit. That being said, some of the planes we've reviewed here lately, you're going to be able to get a good flight time out of it. Now, if we were just doing a lot of heat checks over the runway, flying it wide open, then, you know, we would definitely use a lot more battery. However, this thing is very efficient, don't get me wrong. As I mentioned in the video, the efficiency of this plane as far as flying and as far as maneuvering, you know, it really feels like flying a pattern plane in a jet. So if you want something real precise, fairly easy plane to fly, definitely a good route to go with the Futura. We did do a heat check over the runway from left to right. I didn't call it out. However, I'm going to go ahead and put that top speed in the bottom right-hand corner. One thing I would definitely tell you about this plane, as far as maybe comparing it to something else, is even though it does fly real precise, when you go around the turns, it holds its attitude at high and low speeds. It has good power, good vertical, and the speed's nice. You definitely want to know that as far as the roll rate, this plane is very scaled down when it comes to how aggressive it is. So there again, where I kind of make the statement that it feels like flying a pattern plane, is it doesn't have aggressive roll rate, but it's very precise in how it flies, and it's very predictable in the sky. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this flight review today. If you did, go ahead and push the like button. If you want to see future videos, subscribe to the channel while you're here. I appreciate y'all watching. We'll see you on the next one.